Hello, it's Emma-Jo here from Lavinia Stamps, and in this video I'm going to be showing you, you might be able to see it, I'm going to be showing you how to make a rather lovely Rufus Cameo brooch. Come with me, let me just show you a close-up. What a delicious little brooch with so much detail and very light klimt. Love it, love it! So this is a little cameo brooch that I've made with shrink plastic using Rufus and some of the lovely cogs and rivets that we've got. And I think it looks a little bit like a klimt brooch. Okay, a little bit like a klimt brooch. Okay, it's influenced by klimt. Let's go with that. So it's Lavinia Stamps' take on a little cameo brooch. I think it's fab. Anyway, enough chat from me. Let me show you how it's done. Okay, so we're going to start with some Sizzix shrink plastic, the whiter side up, and any Elements ink pad that I'm just drawing round for the shape of the brooch. And then I'm using a Posca pen, and it's the white one, and I've just pushed that down so that there's a reservoir of ink that sort of pools around the base of the nib, and that is then rubbed into the Sizzix shrink plastic with the age-old tool, finger. And I've just gone outside the line because I'm going to be putting some circles around the outside, and I want those to also have this white base. If you imagine, it's a bit like putting gesso on a canvas. And now I've got a yellow Posca pen, and I've put the ink on my craft mat, and I'm just dabbing it on inside the line of the Elements ink pad, because this is where the picture is going to happen. So I've gone with a small cog, and I'm using that, instead of saying draw around a Posca pen, I'm using that, and it sort of looks lace-like. I rather likes it. And that hole is about the right size to use your handheld punch. But you can use whichever one you fancy. I just fancied that one. Now this is Rufus, our friendly Rufus fox, and I've just inked it up with archival ink, and it didn't take a little, so that's fine. I'm just going to colour in. That's more to do with the Posca than it is to do with the stamp or the archival ink. I'm just going to colour within the shape of the fox with my black Posca pen. So you can get, just a couple of lines, really. Use lines or cross hatches. In other words, lines that go across each other. And I'm using a little bit of Posca magic, so that's Posca gold, just for the chest and the end of the tail. And I've got, what else have I got? Gone back to the gold, haven't I? Obviously wanted to do some more. Now I'm going to start putting some cogs. So this is from Cog set 2, and it's the largest cog we've got. And I think he's rather lovely. There we go. And basically I'm just going to pop the cogs around our fox. I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap so that we can still see him. But he's going to be sort of perched on cogs and kept in place with cogs. So it's up to you which ones you use and how you use them. But I rather like these. The more I was doing this, the more I thought it reminded me of klimt. And had I gone with those sort of colours, then, yeah, it would have been a real klimpty style. So there we go. Our fox is grounded because he's sitting on cogs. Now I've put some of the gold Posca pen and some water on my craft mat, and I was just colouring a little bit extra in. Now I'm going to colour those cogs. So that's my gold Posca pen. And it's just a case of filling in the gaps. Don't overdo the gold, but you know, a fair bit of it, because it does show up well after it's shrunk. Gives a metallic lift to it all. So you can see what other colours I'm going to be using there. There's the aqua green. Oh, it might be time for a new aqua green as well. Having just a little bit of colour on there really helps lift it, I think. So we've got our aqua green, and I'm going to be using some red as well. If you put some dots and circles, it fills in all those gaps and makes it magical. So I'm going in with some red, Posca pen red. And look, that red just lifts, you can see the aqua green better. It's fab. They complement each other. And you can make like circular patterns and things. If you do a circle, then do a line around that circle and then do dots around the line of that circle. It just almost aboriginal in the art style, but it just looks great. I can't think of the word really. It just brings it all together and makes it a coherent story in that brooch. Fabaruni. So I'm just doing little red highlights around the outside of the fob, not fob, cog. And then filling in a circle with my aqua green, because you know how much I love aqua green. And if in doubt, add some more gold. Super. Now here we've got some white and some glittery yellow Posca. Doesn't show up when you're doing this like this, but once you shrink it, it's there. And it's such a lovely effect. There's my aqua green going for the eye again. Fab. Now what should we do? Let's cut it out, but we're going to cut it out in quite a basic manner so that I can then go back in and go around all those little rivets. So this is to try and stop me from having to cut with a lot of weight from the plastic behind it. So before I do the cutting around the rivets or cogs, I'm just doing a little bit of black where we've got a gap. And now I've gone with the gold, and you see how the edge of the elements shape, the elements pad shape, has no, well, it hasn't got a line apart from the pencil line. I'm just going over that and giving it quite a thickish frame that I can then outline again with either black, or sometimes I use a glittery navy Posca pen. Has the same sort of effect. Fab. Coming to life. Oh, keep knocking that camera with my head, sorry. I'm still adding accents there, just with a darker colour. Now stop it. What are you going to do now? Black Posca, and I'm just roughly scribbling a circle in the centre where that cog has a hole. And if there's too much ink, I'll put my finger on it and try and take the basic colour over, so I'm not wasting any ink. I hope that makes sense to you. Leave the fox alone, Emma-Jo. There we go. Right. So that might be a little bit wet, so I'm going to be a bit tentative about cutting, a bit fragile, and just, maybe not fragile is the wrong word, a bit gentle with it. So you can see I've got my fingers on the very edge, but look at how I'm cutting it. It's not a straight line. I am trying to go around the shape of the cog, but not too far in, just enough to give us this lovely scalloped edge. And then I'm just adding a little bit of gold detail. If there's any gaps, I'm just putting some gold in it. So now we're hole punching. And I make it look so super speedy and easy, but actually this is sped up because you didn't need to see me do this as slow as I really am. Now it's shrinking time. Hurrah. Look at this. So using a Ranger heat tool and one of my Sizzix shrink plastic accessories, which is fab for just making sure that you keep some sort of control, and it's bonus, got a little stampy bit on the end. Once it's flat, stamp it out. And I'm going to cover that with Glossy Accents. And I have sped this up as well because my Glossy Accents doesn't come out that quickly. And I've just added a little bit of white Posca pen for the fox's eye, covered it with Glossy Accents. To turn it into a brooch, grab a brooch pin, Glossy Accents, stick it on the back, wait for it to dry. There's your Cameo. You did it! Well done! Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did, making our little Rufus Cameo brooch. I think he's rather stunning, don't you? What a stunning stamp anyway. But all those rivets going around the outside, looking, lace-like. I think it's fab. Anyway, thank you very much for coming along, and I hope you've had fun having a go. If you've got any comments you'd like to make about this craft, please pop them in the post below, and I will do my best to get back in touch with you. But in the meantime, you take care, and I will see you soon. Bye.